And now, from DAYLINE Studios, here is your host, Ralph Rogerstein.
Good evening, I'm Ralph Rogerstein. Tonight we bring you our undercover investigation of one of the most ancient religions in history, Christianity. Are the ancient texts in the Holy Bible true? And if they are, do those who call themselves Christians truly live what they say they believe? Tonight we give you a glimpse inside the lives of some of those so-called Christians and compare them with one of the popular portions of text, Ephesians 5. We begin at verse 1 from the Message Bible. Watch what God does and then do it, like children who learn proper behavior from their parents. Mostly what God does is love you, keep company with Him, and live a life of love. Consider how Christ loved us. His love was not cautious, but extravagant. He didn't love in order to get something from us, but to give everything of Himself to us. Love like that. Verse 3. Don't allow love to turn into lust, setting off a downhill slide into sexual promiscuity and practices. While our findings in this area are somewhat reminiscent of an untamed episode of Desperate Housewives, it is unclear whether this results from a common ignorance of Scripture, a high illiteracy rate, or perhaps an outright rebellion among these so-called followers of Christ. Am I supposed to be saying anything? Not really? Oh. Verse 4 says, though some tongues just love the taste of gossip, Christians have better uses for language than that. Don't talk dirty or silly. That kind of talk doesn't fit our style. Thanksgiving is our dialect.
However, from what I gather, she told him and he told her that she was mad at her, but she didn't even know why. Then she told him that she was really mad at her because she told him that she was in love with her, but she didn't even care. OMG, Becky! Or at least that's what they tell me.
In verse 18, the Scripture lays out some very strict restrictions on beverages. It reads, don't drink too much wine. That cheapens your life. Drink the Spirit of God. Huge draughts of Him. This particular verse is a bit mysterious, as we have not found any conclusive evidence as to what God's favorite spirit is. But the beverage choices of these believers range from cheap beer to homemade moonshine that will take the paint off your car. Questions remain as to the true meaning of this verse. Are we good? Clear? In verse 22, Ephesians gets very bold as it lays out guidelines for the sacred covenant of marriage. Wives, understand and support your husbands in ways that show your support for Christ. The husband provides leadership to the wife just as Christ does to His church, not by domineering, but by cherishing. So just as the church submits to Christ as He exercises such leadership, wives should likewise submit to their husbands. While research shows a clear disregard for these principles, it is not clear whether this is an accurate picture of the church. What is clear is who wears the pants. Husbands, wives, elves, and dogs. In verse 22, Ephesians becomes very clear as to what clear is. So likewise, I don't know about That's all the time we have for tonight. The images you've seen here are undoubtedly disturbing, undoubtedly. Is there anything more tragic than someone preaching one thing and living another? I have no clue. But the question remains. Is this an accurate picture of the entire church? Are the ancient texts true? Is it possible to actually live it out? Is that man in the apron for real? Am I for real? Tune in tomorrow when we bring you the tragic story when we look inside the lives of the Disco Monkeys. For Sam Ramsey, Justin Reese, and all the gang at Dayline, I'm Ralph Rogerstein. Good night.